why people get discouraged is when they see a lot of failures, right? Failure, which we cannot take it further, right? And there is a limit for everyone, right? So my suggestion to everyone who is trying to just cross that limit, give yourself a little more time. Maybe one more month, maybe 2 more months, maybe 1 year, and you will see that part. Right, you will always remember that part will give you a lot of success. That part will also give you a lot of confidence that, I did not leave the battleground. Defeat is good, guys. Defeat is good, but leaving the battleground is of no good. Right? Extraordinary people will always do extraordinary. But true leadership is making sure your ordinary people do extraordinary stuff.
Hello everyone, Ashok here. Thank you for tuning in to this 17th episode of Indian Startup Stories, a podcast striving to bring out experiences and insights from entrepreneurs across India. Today, our guest is Kaushik Mahapatra, founder and chairman of Indian Leadership Academy. It's a global leadership academy in coaching, mentoring, and conducting leadership workshops across 8 countries. Kaushik is a corporate trainer, leadership expert, and also an author of the book Are We Leading? In this episode, Kaushik shares his background, passion in leadership, his mantra of coaching leadership to global audience, core principles in leadership, customer success stories, and much valuable information for us to take away. So without further ado, let's jump in. Hi Kaushik, thank you for coming on Indian Startup Stories today. Welcome.
Hi Ashok, good to meet you.
My pleasure. Please share about your background, studies, and your early day career experiences.
Sure, Ashok. So, I have around 24 years of experience. And before that, I studied for 16 years. And I have an MBA from IIM Lucknow. And I did my engineering in Odisha Engineering College. I'm from Odisha. So this college is in Bhubaneswar, so I did that. And in general, I've been working for last 24 years. So that's a little bit about my background.
Okay, nice. So what is ILA and what's the motto of your academy? What problem do you solve and what are the things that you are addressing?
Okay. Now, coming to Indian Leadership Academy, in short form, we call it ILA. So, coming to Indian Leadership Academy, what we want to do as a company is, this is pretty much a leadership development company. Right? And we do a lot of corporate programs. So 50% of our time we want to spend with corporates because corporates needs a lot of leadership, a lot of innovation, and a lot of teamwork. So that's what we do. 50% of our time we spend with corporates all across India, and 50% we spend time in terms of personal development, personal mastery for individuals, and we call it mostly public workshops or open programs for that matter. And so, so this is what it is: 50% corporates and 50% open programs. And within open programs, we also have a certain category which is more on community leadership, on how do we build a lot of programs for community growth, right? For youth, for women, for entrepreneurs who are starting. So that's what we predominantly do at ILA. So pretty much a leadership development company for all walks of life, for all age groups, between 10 to 80, I would say.
Okay, that's a pretty good range of age that you're covering. Nice. So that's wonderful. So how did it all start, Kaushik? The idea of ILA, what was a spark moment?
Okay, yeah. Well, as I said, I was working with corporates earlier. So my first company was Wipro. Then I moved to GE, and then I moved to HP. So pretty much all IT companies, and I've been, because of IT, I've been traveling a lot. I would have done at least 30 odd countries, and I felt so good. When you meet people from different cultures, when you learn from them, because every country has something, right? You call it history or no history, right? But every country has something which is so good, and they do so nicely or so uniquely. So I felt there is a lot of wisdom across countries. And the reason I wanted to quit, first of all, is frankly speaking, corporates was taking a heavy toll out of me. I have two sons, so the family time was most important for me. Community building was always there in my mind, and from childhood, so that was there in my mind. And keeping all that in mind, I thought, okay, what can I do? And as you all know, Ashok, you are an entrepreneur. It's not easy to decide on a plan. As typical entrepreneurs, we have several ideas, right? And every idea is so tempting, right? Oh, why not this and why not that and stuff like that. But I then said to myself, you know what? Let me do something which I've been thinking since ages, and that's more on community development, on wisdom, on learning, and I believe leadership is one area where I can do a lot. The reason why I freezed on leadership is because when I extensively traveled everywhere, I felt there is so much of emphasis on engineering, there is so much of emphasis on medicine, on research and development, and everyone is doing so well in those areas. But when it comes to leadership, and it is not just in Asia for that matter, everywhere, when it comes to leading, right? And when I say leadership, it's about two things. One, corporate leadership, and the second is daily leadership. How do we lead our lives in general, right? And how do we
Okay.
lead a day and not the day leading you and stuff like that. So both professional and personal, right? So I felt that there is a lot of things which has to be done on this area, on leadership. We can create more leaders, people who have that leadership mindset, people who think that I can create something, right? And this is where I felt I can do something, and that's why Indian Leadership Academy came into picture. I came back. I was those days. I was in Australia in 2016. I came back, and in 2000, early 2017, we started this company. So that's a little bit of background on why Indian Leadership Academy came, why we founded this company.
Okay, nice reason behind it. You started as an IT consultant in Wipro, then gradually you moved on holding leadership position in companies like GE, HP. What pushed you to think to start something of your own, and what strategy has got you here, preparing yourself for the transition? If you can elaborate.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Yeah, I mean, see, as an individual or as a company owner, I felt both the things have a lot of learnings. But I wanted to personally do that transition, not for anyone else, for myself. Right? I felt,
Mhm.
well, I am made for something else, right? And the very fact that you continuously get that feedback on yourself, where you are telling yourself that, hey, you know what, Ashok, your life is not that meaningful. Hey, you know what, Kaushik, you can do a lot more than what you're doing. Now, that itself is not a great feeling, according to me, right? It's like this: you have everything in your life, but still you feel something is missing. You feel something is more and more needed. And that's why I said to myself, if not now, it cannot be any time, right? This is the best time, right? It's now or never. And that's why I did the transition myself. In fact, you'll not believe I was in Australia, and I used to have a very very senior role there, working for HP. And my wife was here in India, and she was my wife along with the kids. Right, we're about to travel to Australia, and then I said, "Hey, you don't come. I am coming back
Okay.
in 1 week's time." I said, when we procrastinate, the best thing is, right, step up and do something quickly. And that's why I took the decision. I took the plunge, and the transition happened. And I'm happy about the transition, frankly speaking. And the transition was not that easy, of course. Frankly speaking, when you take a plunge, you don't think otherwise what's going to happen, right? And it was not easy for me the first couple of years, but slowly, steadily, I feel now the phase is gone. This now phase is more in terms of scale up, right? And I'm liking it. I'm liking it, Ashok. I don't know whether I've answered your question in detail, but
Yeah, yeah. initially when you take the decision, you will be losing the immediate benefits of your own position wherever you are and whatever roles that you are doing. So when you start off that transition, I guess you need to let go of certain things, certain benefits that you are already having as part of the job.
So true, so true.
Your academy is young comparatively, and inception in 2017, 4 years old, and you have a good spread of corporate clients with giants like Amazon, IBM, and 100 plus corporates, I guess, in 8 countries. What's the formula of this aggressive scaling growth?
Yeah. Yes, I mean, the most of the credit goes to the team, no doubt about it. But what kept us going is the big why we want to do this. Why we want to do this. And I always feel that when you are talking about a why, how, and what, right? The how and what comes very easily to you in life. That how and what. But the why thing doesn't come so easily. And when a lot of people are not successful, it's only because they have not spent a lot of time on the why. They've just
Yeah,
plunged on the what and how. And
yeah,
this
the
is what
purpose.
we
Yeah.
have, and this is what Ashok we have realized as a team in the initial days itself. So we always wanted to make our why very, very powerful. That why do you want to do
Mm.
this? Right? What's that one thing which is giving you that kick every day? Right? And when you get a kick every day, no matter where you are, you will accelerate in your life. I strongly feel. So that kick actually to do something different, to do something amazing, to do something for your country, right? To do something for the communities or societies or as a global citizen, right? What's your responsibility? And that's what accelerated the whole thing. Now coming to the why, our why was our why was very very simple. We felt that for some reasons we all humans are divided by countries, are divided by boundaries, are divided by religions for that matter. And for that reason, what's happening is we are not able to complement each other's journey. We always think about ourselves, right? The East is thinking about themselves, the West is talking about themselves, right? And we wanted to make sure that the East meets West. And in order to do that, we felt the only thing which can combine us together, right, is wisdom. Is our experience, right? And I strongly feel then, and not just me, my whole team felt that we can all be divided by boundaries, but we can only be united by wisdom. So the whole idea was to make sure we unite everyone with wisdom, and we created a vision called leading. If you actually go to our vision statement, it's called Indian Leadership Academy, leading with wisdom to inspire a billion. Leading with wisdom to inspire a billion.
Yeah.
And that billion, of course, has a lot of Eastern elements or Western elements. It is not just that we wanted to be specific on India, but we wanted to make sure that we create an environment where people feel that we are global citizens, and we felt as a country we can lead it. India can lead it because we have a lot of ancient wisdom. Wisdom is there in our blood, I would say, right? And we can take that leader, we can take that leading part and make sure East meets West, right? So with that, what happened is a lot of people, joined with us, looking at that vision. They resonated with our vision, and I felt customers liked it, right? Countries liked it, people from different countries, and that's why I would say it is because of them. It is because of them we grew so faster.
Nice. So, how did you take it to other countries? Because Indian Leadership Academy, you started in India. If you can explain what formula has worked.
Yeah. Even there, I would say there was a big why behind it. There was a big why behind it. When we, in our team, we spoke about international expansion, the one thing which was there in our mind, and we were all scratching our head, is why is that a lot of foreign speakers come to India, right? Which is a good thing, right? Which is a good thing. But why Indian speakers are not a lot more in the foreign locations, or why are we not going there and preaching what we have to preach, right? And that, that actually triggered a lot of questions, that why is it like, we are not good at teaching, or training or coaching, right? What stops us from doing it? If you see, we have plenty of wisdom within us, but what stops us in sharing it, not just in India but outside India mostly, right? And that's where the whole team, had a formula, and the formula was Indian trainers, global audience; Indian coaches, global audience; Indian leaders, global audience. And,
Okay, nice.
and that was the biggest why, right? That was the biggest why. And not just me as a founder, the whole team said, hey, we want to create at least 10 trainers who can go outside, right? And by the way, in my Asia tours, the trainers were there along with me. It is not just focusing on me, just being a founder, but the focus was how can we create 10 more trainers, 50 more trainers, 100 more trainers. And in fact, then for that vision, we had a small mission, and the mission was how do we create 1,000 international trainers, right? 1,000 Indian international trainers who are doing programs outside. And by the way, the pandemic also helped us because now online has become the new normal. Right?
True, true. Yeah.
So with all that, with that mission, right, we thought we can go for it. And with that mission, there was a big push in everyone to create
Hmm.
more programs, which is more international. So we created an international training and coaching certification program, which is accredited by the best of the world's coaching bodies. And with that, we were able to expand quickly because we got a lot of international trainers quickly, right?
Okay.
And we were able to manage 8 countries now because those people, our participants, actually helped us to expand, right? It's not like, by
Okay.
the way, Ashok, we don't have physical offices in these 8 locations,
It's all virtual now.
but we have already have our presence there. We have already done our workshops there in these 8 locations, including India,
Okay.
and that's how we.
That's nice. So how big is your team on the ground? Because to cover this international audience, you should be having a strong team on the ground.
Right, right. So, we what we have done is we have got one permanent team, which is around 21 people, including me. So we have 21 people, including me, mostly in Bangalore, Delhi locations, and we also have around 20 odd trainers and coaches who are not in our payrolls, but they are they more work with us as freelancers. So pretty much, I would say a 41 member team who
Okay.
do all that, more in terms of corporates and also in public programs.
Okay. Okay. So how did you form this core founding team, and what were the challenges that you have undergone individually before you kickstarted this business?
Right, right. You know what? Um, our strategy was very simple, by the way, right? And I don't know, you would find this very unique, right? Very unique. Our strategy was very simple, right? Whosoever is coming your way, take them.
Straightforward.
Straightforward,
Yeah.
right? And this is where most of the people find it funny. How come that worked for you, Kaushik? And you know
Hmm.
what? First, believe me, the first 2 years we never had great salaries, right?
Okay.
Never had great salaries, right? So
Hmm.
when you are not able to give the best, why are you even trying to get the best? No. But the
Yeah.
very fact that when people are approaching you, they have a will, they have an intent to do something for you, right?
Hmm.
And in the first 2 years, believe me, we have never done any interviews. There was no interviews. All
Okay.
those interviews were like over the coffee discussion, right? And we kept hiring. We kept hiring. And
Okay.
yes, not like everyone in the process was successful, right? But the very fact that most of them were successful and they contributed to the team because the best thing they had was a great attitude towards work, and that's why they came.
Okay.
And they loved the
Yeah.
way that how come you have so much of faith and trust? You're not even having an interview, right? How come you can hire people without interviews, right? It's like this, Ashok,
Hmm.
right? Without blind faith, I'm ready to work with you. right? We also have a blind
Yeah.
faith. And I think whatever we have been preaching in terms of leadership, trust building, the team
Okay.
exhibited it. The HR team exhibited it in terms of hiring, and that helped
Mhm.
us to get very world class people. And I always believe, right, extraordinary people will always do extraordinary. But true leadership
Nice.
is making sure your ordinary people do extraordinary stuff, and that's what the team did together.
Nice. Yeah. I guess initial days always challenging for everybody. So, how long it actually has taken for you? Was it a long phase or a long period of time or a short when you started realizing that my revenue generation is up to the par that you expected? And how did you handle your initial days? Who helped you, and how did you handle it?
Okay. So I would say I was lucky enough that in the first 1.5 years, we were break even. We were break even, and in the first
Mhm.
1.5 years, we started realizing a lot of profits, right? But however, that first 1.5 years was definitely a roller coaster ride. Lots of ups and downs. We used to work 14, 16 hours a day, right? And a lot of mood swings, because it's not easy
Mm.
as an entrepreneur, right? And what's going, why did I leave my job and stuff like that. And this kept going, and we kept talking to each other, and that worked well. But we were very lucky that in 1.5 years we could make sure that the break even was there. And in this whole process, I would say a lot of my friends and family helped me. A lot of people say, you know what, friends don't help you when it's about entrepreneurship, right? They only talk, they don't help you. But I was lucky enough to have great friends. I was lucky enough to have relatives, right?
Okay.
Who always stood
Mhm.
by me, right?
Okay.
And the biggest name I have is my wife, right? She stood by me every day. Right? And it is, in fact, I always say that because of her, I founded this company. So logically, she is the founder of the company and not me. Uh,
Okay.
and I feel that every time I had a problem, I went to her, right? And she had a ready-made solution. She had a ready-made solution. She made sure that whatever, right, was needed to grow the company, she did an extra bit in terms of stretch. She worked. She wrote some proposals for me. She gave me some ideas, and that kept helping. And also one of my relatives, he's there in the US, Joydeep Singh, is my co-brother. He helped me in investing. I was looking for investors outside, but then I thought, bootstrapping is much better. Bootstrapping, because there'll be less pressure on you. And so Joydeep Singh has helped me a lot in this whole process, and because of them, I'm here. And not just Joydeep Singh, a lot of people like Samrat Kaur, who has been again my co-brothers, and my
Okay.
brothers sisters also came to my rescue. So I would say my brothers, sisters, co-brothers, co-sisters, all of them, and mostly my wife has helped me in this whole process. And in terms of the moral push, my mom, my father, my mom-in-law, my father-in-law. So pretty much, it's not a family business, but the family was there behind me on everything, right? And
Nice. Yeah.
the values which I had learned from my mom in my earlier days. My mom used to teach me one thing, and she said, if you have to be successful in your life, there are three things which are very, very important, and those three things are discipline, decency, and decorum. Discipline,
Wonderful.
decency, and decorum. And I would say that kept me going. So though my mom is not staying with me, she's in Bhubaneswar, she's in Odisha, and I'm here in Bangalore. But her learnings kept me going, right? And I would give that entire credit to my family, I would say. And my friends.
That's wonderful. Yeah, family and friend support are the prime pillars in the initial days. Nice. Yeah. So, any kind of extra funding you had to bring in, or you managed it completely with bootstrapping, as you mentioned?
Yeah, we never got any investment from anywhere. It was all bootstrapping.
Okay.
It was all, in fact, now also a lot of friends call me, hey, I want to invest. And so,
Hmm.
um, so because of all these friends, all these family members. I never felt like asking money from outside, and
Okay.
it's been people have been kind to me. I must say.
Nice. Yeah. So, when was the first moment of relief in ILA since the inception? Did you have any target number in the mind that you considered you need to coach these many number of people, or what was the target? What was the first moment of relief?
Okay, I would say the first moment of relief was not in terms of revenue, but the first moment of relief was when we did our first international workshop in Singapore, right? Where there were many people who were appreciating Indian culture, Indian wisdom. Right? They were here to learn from us, right? And that's where we felt the whole vision of East meets West, the whole vision of inspiring a billion, the whole vision of taking Indian wisdom across countries, the whole vision of being part of that global learning and development network, right? Where we can also do a lot. That gave me immense
Yeah.
satisfaction. That is where we felt we have arrived as a company.
Okay, nice. Can you share any one of your customer success stories or probably testimonial, which is a pride moment for you for being part of their journey?
Yeah, customer success stories is something I feel. When people generally come to you and talk about what changes they are going through, right? That is awesome, I would say. But I
Mm.
remember an instance where I was flying somewhere and I bumped into
Okay.
someone. I bumped into someone, and all of a sudden, that lady said, I was in your workshop that time, and I said, okay, which workshop?
Okay.
I don't remember your face.
Okay.
And she kept going, on and on and on. She was telling me that one statement which you told me, right, and how it has impacted my kids. I have taught the same thing to my kids and how it has impacted me. I think that was a moment where I felt, wow, we don't even realize what we are doing, right? And how all of
Okay.
a sudden a lot of people are getting, transformed on small things like this. Small according to me, but not small according to them. Right? So that was a huge thing, and
Okay.
that I can remember.
Okay. Nice. Customer appreciation always matters. Nice. Yeah. How COVID has impacted you and your business? What are the dynamics you had to change for your business?
Yeah, when COVID came in March, we were all thinking what to do because everything was face to face for us. We never were into online business, so everything was face to face. Corporates stopped giving us work because they never had funds, and there was no face to face trainings. Individual programs also were all stopped, and we were about to think what can be done because we had a lot of employees and we have to pay their salaries and stuff like that. But then I think the team took its stance and everything. I would say in 2 weeks of time, right? Anything in terms of we changing the face-to-face formats to an online format. In 2 weeks, we changed everything. In 2 weeks, we changed, and
Hmm.
in fact, COVID. Because of COVID, right? In the first 3 months, I remember our revenues doubled. Our revenues
Okay.
doubled. So COVID
Oh,
was a blessing for us, I would say. And not just that, during COVID now, what is happening is we are trying to get a lot of international participants. So whatever was
okay.
our vision statement, right? COVID actually helped us. COVID helped us, by the way. So,
Okay. So it has
so
fueled more for your business. Nice.
yeah,
Cool. So you come with a leadership background with early experiences, and what are the sales and marketing strategies which worked for you and fueled your journey?
yeah. In terms of sales and marketing, see, sales and marketing, I always felt is very tricky, and I've been into sales roles. It's not easy, guys. It's not easy doing the conviction part, right? Communication is very easy. We can say sales is 10% communication, 90% conviction, but the
Hmm.
conviction part is not easy because a tailor-made approach doesn't work. A tailor-made
Okay.
approach doesn't work. But I feel our values are more into relationship building. Our values are more into relationship building. How can I build a
Okay.
relationship with Ashok? Maybe he's not giving me anything. I'm not giving him anything. But can we talk so nicely with Ashok? Can Because he's giving me his 1 hour. Can I be nice to him? Right?
Mhm.
I think those are some of the values which we had, and even in our sales processes, it helped us. It helped us. We always felt that we should not be pushing our customers. Right? Sales is all about consulting. We should talk to them. We should find out what they are needing. If this product or this service is not applicable to them, not appropriate for them, in fact, you say no, right? And when
Mhm.
they
Yeah.
know, they see that honesty in you, and because of their honesty, they will also suggest refer few more customers, right? So to me, the honesty paid really well, and I feel I'm having a very honest sales team who are imbibing those principles day in and day out.
Okay, nice. Do you recommend students to get a job, work, and then think about business, or do you recommend to have business mindset at young age before they even start career with any corporates?
Right, right, right. See, I strongly feel it is not just a job which is waiting for you, right?
Hmm.
Entrepreneurship is definitely an option, definitely an option.
Oh,
But looking at whatever I have done in my career and whatever my mentors have taught me, or I've been also seeing a lot of my peer trainers and coaches and leaders, right? So there is and you asked me this, but I will extend it a little more. So there is a
yeah, yeah.
three-step formula they say. If you have to have a meaningful life, if you have to have a very, very successful life, they say start with a job. Start with a job, do it for some
Mhm.
time, right? And it all is different for different people. Yeah. It can be 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, right? Not more than that, not less than that, right? And then the second thing should be entrepreneurship, because in job you have learned everything, how a business runs, right? Sales, marketing, strategy, right? And revenue building and stuff like that. And then you use all that experience in your entrepreneurship.
Mhm.
And then
It brings value.
the third step, which you did not ask me, is then start teaching people. Then start teaching
Okay,
people, right?
giving
Whatever
back.
you learn from a job as an entrepreneur, start teaching people, preaching people, right? Money, no money doesn't matter, right? So if you can do these three things, right, in your life, I would say there will be holistic development. You will be happy.
Okay, nice. Yeah, a giving back aspect. Cool. So, what could go wrong in an entrepreneur journey? I would like to know what are the setbacks or the failures that you have come across, and you had to take all learnings from your own experiences, and you had to pull it through so that you are back on track and you are excelling. If you can share some instances.
See, learnings wise, I feel there are few things I feel we strongly should not do. One is, sometimes when you are in the scale up mode, when you start getting a lot of success, right, it goes to your head, frankly speaking, right? And you start building a negative attitude towards your customers, towards your employees, right? And that is something you should stop. That is something you should, as an entrepreneur, keep asking, am I getting into that mode? Because getting into that mode is very, very easy for an entrepreneur. The moment you have some money, right, some fame, name, it's very easy. So you need to stick to the basics, right? In fact, they say, right, simplicity is the key. Simplicity is the key, right? Be simple, right? Be sincere about things, and that will take you a long way. Second, and the most important thing I've been talking about it is the why, right? The why has to be constantly there with you, right? The why has been, and you have seen examples like Apple versus Microsoft, right? I know I have people from Apple and Microsoft are probably not
Mm.
listening to this podcast, but I give this example because Apple continued to to focus in terms of their why every year. But Microsoft started with the why, and they were more focused on the how and what, and not the why. Right? And that's
Mhm.
why you see a difference, right? Microsoft was also a big player, right? But you don't see them doing the way Apple is growing. Right? So every entrepreneur, I think we should stick to how you started. Right? What was your original idea? Right? Stay with your originality. Stay with your originality. Stay with your why, and
Mhm.
that can be a great thing. Right? So these are the two things I feel as an entrepreneur. If you can do that, right, nothing like it. And all these sales numbers, scale up is all part and parcel, guys. Right, that will keep coming your way. That will keep coming your way.
Okay, nice. So, Kaushik, what's your vision on Indian leadership on global forum? We already have strong penetration in major global forums. How impactful it would be in future, say, for example, 5 years down the line?
Yeah, I mean, I would say Indian leaders are growing. Right, we have been talking about leadership now in most of the industries and sectors. Right, there are a lot of examples. The way we have created the COVID vaccine, right, and not many countries have done that, is also showing a lot of leadership. On paper now, right. So there have been a lot of leaders, but we have never seen a lot of examples, and that's what I feel we are getting to know every day now. And so I think Indian leaders are doing so well, and that's why a lot of Indian leaders have become CEOs. Right, most of the CEOs are from Indian background and Indian, originally from India. So I feel a lot has to be done in the so-called, I would say, grassroots level now. So leadership has to go to grassroots levels so that the creations which we have or the inventions which we see in the villages, right? People in India, we also use the word jugaad, right? And jugaad to me is a
Hmm.
great innovation, right? Innovation or invention, right? So to me, those kind of things has to be given more emphasis, and that way, we'll do much more in terms of leadership.
Okay, yeah. For people going through failures, what's your message from your experience to uplift them?
Okay, failure and defeat. Yes, people have. It's a normal thing to go through a failure routine, guys. I feel, right, and I feel failure every day. We either fail or we succeed, right? And in fact, in a day there has to be some successful moments and some failure moments,
Hmm.
and you cannot escape from it, right? So that is a given thing, right? Now the second thing is why people get discouraged is when they see a lot of failures, right? Failure, a lot of failures, which we cannot take it further, right? Some people can take it, some people cannot, right? And there is a limit for everyone, right? So my suggestion to everyone who is trying to just cross that limit, right? Everyone has a limit, right? When you're just about to cross that limit, give yourself a little more time. Give yourself a little more time. When you're just about to cross that limit, maybe one more month, maybe 2 more months, maybe 1 year, and you will see that part, right? You will always remember that part will give you a lot of success. That part will also give you a lot of confidence that,
Mhm.
I did not leave the battleground. Defeat is good,
Okay.
guys. Defeat is good, but leaving the battleground is of no good.
Yeah. So staying there in the game. Yeah. Nice. So, how do you stay calm during the day of chaos?
Okay, in a day of chaos, what I do typically? Okay. I'm a big fan of music. I love music.
Okay.
I keep singing. I'm a great bathroom singer. And I love dancing, by the way, right? And some of you probably, don't like singing and dancing, but I love dancing and singing, because I feel it's not just because we are aged when we cannot sing and dance. I think dancing and singing has to be there in life, right? And if when things become very chaotic, I go back to music. I talk to my wife, and then I just go for a walk, right? Sometimes, and I also keep talking to my employees, who I feel is my extended family. Right? When I talk to them,
Mhm.
whenever I feel bad, and there have been a lot of moments where I have been, shouting at them and stuff like that. It's part and parcel. I don't want to do that, a lot with employees. That's no good. Yes, sometimes it happens, but then I when those kind of things happen, I just go to them, talk to them, and then they give me a lot of those soothing moments. So
Okay, nice. So, what is one important quality that you would look from any budding entrepreneur, and what should they have?
Yeah, any entrepreneur, I would say, I would still go by that word originality. That I would still go by that word originality, right? You can have a
Yeah.
brilliant idea, right? And you can have money, no money, employees, no employees, right? You are alone or not alone. Doesn't matter, guys. If you're an entrepreneur, you have to have an idea which is powerful enough and which is original enough, right? A lot of people just keep Googling ideas. Don't do that, right? Based on your experience, based on how you have been brought up, right? Based on what your parents have taught you, or teachers have taught you, you would always have something very unique which you can do. And every entrepreneur, if you stick to that, if you stick to that, then nothing like it, right? You can definitely create a great company. So originality is my answer, Ashok.
Okay, nice. Moving on to the final section of this episode, rapid fire round. I've listed down some questions. Yeah. So, what's your favorite sports or game you play?
Okay, it was cricket earlier and now it's football.
Okay, nice. What's the best thing that happened to you this month?
Oh, this month, we started our office again
Okay, post COVID.
post COVID.
Okay, nice. You must be having mentors, right? For in your own industry. How do you make sure that your mentors are available to you when you need them?
Oh yeah, if you see the way I do it is because I visualize that if my mentors are here, how would they have suggested me on this situation? So they are always with me in my heart that way. Right? I don't have a need
Okay.
them physically because I know they are busy, but they are in my
Mhm.
heart always.
Okay. What time you go to bed and what time you wake up? How does the first few hours of your morning look like?
Yes, the first few hours of morning is about self time, a lot of family time. I feel that's the best time to give to yourself, right? To go inwards, right? And that's what I spend a little time with myself, right? A lot of sunlight in the morning. I feel sunlight is where whenever I get some sunlight, I feel wow, right? So much of energy I've got from the nature. So being with the nature or family or myself, right? And I keep switching sometimes.
Okay, nice. How is your sleeping habits? I mean, what time you hit bed and what time you wake up?
Sleeping habits, I sleep for 7 to 8 hours, right? And I sleep generally at 11 and then get up by 6,
Okay,
7 o'clock,
okay,
sometimes 7, sometimes 8 also.
okay, nice, nice. What's your favorite subject in school?
My favorite subject was English, by the way, right? Which I was not
Mhm.
good at, right? But still my favorite, I would say.
Okay, nice. What's that book or an article you have read recently and you liked it?
Okay, I love the book which I read recently, and the book is called the 10x Rule. The 10x Rule. I read it earlier, but now I reread
Mhm.
it, and this book is called the 10x Rule by Grant Cardone, right? Which talks about how do we do 10x? How do we do 10x thinking and 10x in terms of action?
Okay, nice. What does creativity means to you in one sentence?
Okay, creativity to me is improvisation. How can I improve from yesterday to today? Right? If I can put one delta element in terms of what is already existing, to me that is creativity. And ultimately, it also leads to leadership.
Nice. What's the best compliment you ever received for the accomplishment you have done so far?
Yeah, the best compliment I have ever received is that you care for us, right? You
Okay,
care for us, and that's a wonderful thing. When somebody tells you you care for me, right? That's a wonderful thing.
okay, nice. Who's the one leader that you follow most?
Yeah, I've been a big follower of Mahatma Gandhi. Right, the way he created non-violence, the way he created something unique when it's about a leadership model, and I loved his way of things. And also, I feel my kids, my couple of kids. One is 15-year-old. He's doing a lot in terms of football. He used to be a state player. Now he used to also play for a Spanish club, And my younger one who wants to be an athlete at the age of 9, I feel those my kids are my greatest role models at this.
Okay, nice. I thoroughly enjoyed talking to you today, Kaushik. It was wonderful having you here. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ashok, and a big namaste to you. Thank you so much.
Okay, we are at the end of episode number 17. Thank you very much, Kaushik, for coming on and sharing your experiences. And to our listeners, you can find out the episode summary in the description. Until we catch up soon with more exciting stories, stay tuned, be motivated. Thank you.